Yes. Oh my God. Good morning, everybody.
Yay, we did it.
I have a cat over here who's running laps around the house in wild and crazy fashion.
Oh,
Yeah. So, good morning. Welcome to week 3 of the King Arthur Pendragon campaign. This is a side adventure that occurs in the year 485 with 3 of our players, Brethric, Ivan, and Nidian, as Dwynwen is absent and will be returning to us next weekend. So, glad that you're here and that we have absolutely no technical problems anytime we play this game. Yes.
smooth sailing.
Yeah, totally. So, yeah, how have you guys been? It's been 2 weeks since I last saw y'all. Last weekend I was off in Seattle running a 12-hour D&D marathon for the Nerd Fusion crew. So if you didn't catch that, you should definitely go to the Nerd Fusion Twitch channel and see the VOD there. And I think it's going to be up on YouTube sometime. But since we've seen y'all last, Eric, what have you been up to? How have things been going?
Yeah, things have been going really well. Just been doing my usual streams. If you don't know about them, later I do on Saturdays I do It's Never Sunny in Duskfall, which is a Blades in the Dark campaign, and then on Sundays I do Burning Crowns, which is kind of like a political. If you ever played Pathfinder or like the Kingmaker adventure pathy, like build your own kingdom kind of game of Burning Wheel, which I think are another guest of ours, another player might know a little thing or two
Has
about.
been involved with from time to time.
Yeah, dabbled in this great game.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. It has a really nice cover as well. You should check it out, but don't take my word for it.
Very
Thanks,
nice.
Steven.
Very nice. How about you, Syldenn? What have you been up to?
I miss Burning Wheel.
Oh,
Someday again. I've been good. I ate a shitload of turkey, so that was awesome. Probably still recovering from that a little bit, actually.
yeah. You still got the food coma going on?
Yes, had a very, very happy Thanksgiving with lovely
Awesome.
family. Working really hard, playing games, been good.
Awesome. Glad to hear it.
We had Blue Jay on our D&D show this week, which was awesome. We had 4 players at once, which was kind of crazy, but also really awesome.
Good. Hang on. Can you say something again, Jess? Just to double check this.
And say something again, as a
Okay,
matter of
good.
fact.
Now I know how to mute OBS from my window. Sorry, I'm trying to check out and see if there's someone was saying there's like a CPU fan sound. Where the speaker is trying to see what's
Oh, really?
going on.
That's
Yeah, I don't
probably
know.
mine, because my fucking huge tower is right here. Hang on.
Yeah.
I don't actually hear it on my side, so who knows. Anyway, Luke, what have you been up to in the last 2 weeks since we've seen you last?
Yeah. I am returned from Paris, in which I learned that my name in French is Mr. Skull. So you know how to refer to me from now on. I also appropriately visited the catacombs while I was in Paris. So lifelong bucket list check mark happening right there.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so I'm back, and I am working on fulfilling inheritance right now, actually, which is making me lose my soul.
Yeah, that sounds thrilling. Something I ever look forward to having to deal with. So, should we talk about what happened last time? One of our guests was not here for the last session, so it might be fun to get them filled in. Jess or Eric, do you want to give us a summary of last time?
Boy.
Well,
Yeah, we can do a little bit of both. So, it was a little melancholic. Cheered him up a little bit. It was really great. It's a really great moment. And then we learned about the difficulties of the town. And Jess, how about you? You take up the next part.
yeah. So Nidian was very kind to come to my aid and thankfully roll awesomely and save me from being extremely melancholy. But then we found out that the pagan icons of the town had been destroyed, which is very, very bad. And that's why all of the pagan gods were upset with the town. So we ended up going into the forest to figure out what happened. And we had a little fun. We had a little pagan fun.
Little romp. Yeah.
Nidian had an experience.
I failed a chastity roll. That's what I did.
Yeah.
I'm proud of it, but I did it.
And is this a spoiler? Should I be specific here?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It came to light that the priest of the town was the one who had burned the idols.
Oh.
And he would have gotten away with it. It wasn't for our meddling kids.
And he would have gotten away with it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then what happened then?
It culminated the antagonization of the farmers and peasants against us, and specifically the Christians. Came out into a field where you beat the shit out of them. It was awesome.
Yes.
So great job there.
Oh, yeah.
So you did that, and then we came back into town, and then we met the Knight of Flowers, who kind of laid down the law a little bit, and I was going to try to duel him for the honor of the town, and thinking that there's a way that both sides, this pagan and Christian side, can heal, and they can live in harmony. And instead of doing that, I got on my little tiny Don Quixote mule and then just jumped off and just went off into the woods because I critically failed a passion check. So
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
You critically failed what? Your love of family?
Loyalty, I think.
Loyalty to your lord. Yes.
Yeah.
So, can you describe for me what this Knight of Flowers looked like? Do you remember?
It was a lady. I'm not exactly remembering what her face was, but she had a red, rosy type braid in her hair.
It wasn't a rosy type braid. It was literally roses, and her armor was literally white hydrangea flowers, and her skin and flesh was literally vines. Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was artistic description. I didn't know it was literally.
No. Yep.
Literally plant knight. Okay.
Yes.
He's awesome.
Literally
okay, that's
plant
way
knight.
scarier. Okay. Okay. Oh God. I wanted to fight that. Okay.
Did you earn a Valorous check for that? I think you may have.
Friggin' hope so.
I think we increased your
God.
Valorous last time. Okay, good. So that's what happened last time. It's been about 4 months since our last play session. It was early spring, and now it's high summer. And you, Hrethric and Ivan, neither of you have seen or heard from Nidian in all of the time since.
Oh my God.
So the two of you are what has been both of your reactions to the absence of your companion?
I'm not worried.
No? You think he's got it under control?
Yeah.
Okay.
People got shit to do, Knights or squires got business.
Yep, that's very true.
I think I'm pretty concerned about it.
Yeah, Ivan, you were there, so you saw.
I have a natural fear of pagan things. And on top of that, I feel like Ivan probably feels like he's in debt in some way to Nidian because of the deep respect that he showed for Ivan and helping him out of his misery.
Yeah. Do we remember what exactly it took place to remove you from your melancholy state? Was it your love of family, Nidian, that you used to coax him out of his
It
melancholy?
might have been.
Probably, but let's check back the rolls.
That's going to be a long way back. Yeah. I mean, I remember you went into the tent and you gave him a pep talk of some kind. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Very good. So
I think it was family because I talked about my dad and how I miss my dad, and It's about, yeah. Anyways, okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and you so you're feeling this loss of Nidian as a consequence of that bonding moment with him.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice. Well, so the two of you have, you're still squires, and there's murmurings around town that, oh wow, my rule book is all the way over there. There's murmurings around town. You're at Castle Vagon, and there's murmurings that Uther is looking to put together another army to strike against the Saxons, and the two of you are performing menial labor around Vagon Castle, probably like mucking out the pigsty or something like that. When a man comes running up to you from up the road, and he's covered in mud, and he's got sticks sticking out of his hair and leaves sort of plastered all over his body. And at a second glance, you recognize this gentleman. His beard is much more unkempt, his hair a little longer, his eyes a little wilder, but before you stands Nidian.
Yeah.
What do you?
I laugh.
Nice.
He just runs out of the woods.
Yeah.
Well, there's like a gate to the Vagon Castle area, so he had to go through the gate, but he's come trudging up, looking much the worse for wear.
Oh, okay. So he's not like running from something. He's
No.
just like, okay.
Now, Steven, I have a question for you real quick.
Yeah.
Do I know how much how much time has passed?
I think you have a hazy sense of a significant chunk of time passing, but for you it was all this blur of. Well, I'll let you explain.
Yeah, no, I'm like, Rethric, Edmund, oh, your sights are a tonic to my parched throat.
Definitely Nidian.
Yeah.
I'm like a bucket of water from the well.
I am very tired, and I like almost collapse.
Yeah, I like scoop you up. I'm like,
Okay, yeah.
God,
I like collapse into your arms. Yeah.
we feared you'd never come back. What happened to you? Oh, it doesn't matter right now. Let's get you cleaned up.
It was like a dream. That's all I know. It was dancing and horses, and there was a knight who saved me with his elderly man. It was so strange. There was some sort of spell. I kind of like you might be thinking I'm just kind of like rambling from exhaustion or exposure.
No, but I'm like intrigued by
But
this.
there's
A
truth to my
spell.
words.
Oh, a spell. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So perhaps after I'm refreshed a little bit,
Yeah.
and we're interested in like hearing the tale or whatever, it's like the time
I'm going to
when-
assume that we have a montage of like Hrethric pouring buckets of ice cold water over you, and you're just like shivering.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
then the part where I have the towel around my neck and I'm like dabbing off my beard and whatever. I mentioned how I was kept in a castle with other there are others, and the king. I remember it. We would drink some sort of. I'm not even sure if I wanted it, but we would drink some kind of green potion, and we would be horses in the night. And well, there was. So I'm a young knight, and I remember his flowery armor. And was that the Knight of Flower? I don't even know. I don't remember. He knocked it out away from it, and I, instead of returning with the horses, I in the stables, I ran north back to Vagon as best I could, and here I am. It's a miracle.
So do you remember everything that happened to you, Nidian, or is it just bits and pieces here?
I think I do, but I don't. I think it's compartmentalized right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole picture is.
So specifically, the pieces that you remember clearly are during the daytime you were a horse, and you were running with 7 other white horses, white mares, and 7 black stallions.
Yes.
And during that time, you ran over the course of the daytime, frolicking by the cliffs of the southern shore of Britain. And in the evening, you would return to the stables. And in the stables, an old woman would brush you down. And then you would awaken later at night as a man. And you would all go into the castle with 7 young women and 7 young men, 7 youths and 7 maidens. And you would feast in the Lord's halls, and you would dance and drink and sing. And the Lord would feast you very, very well, but at the end of the evening, he would give each of you this goblet with this green drink in it. And you would all, for whatever reason, drink this drink, and you would awaken in the morning as a horse once again in the stables, and you'd go running free all day across the meadows. And that continued just, in this hazy dream sense of every day is exactly the same, every night is exactly the same. And you were completely well rested. Like, there was never any fatigue from running as a horse all day and then, partying all night. Yes, until suddenly an old man and a young knight came to visit the Lord's castle, and he feasted them, and you partied with them, and then at the very end of the evening, the knight knocked the goblet out of your hands, and it broke the enchantment that you were under, and you went running.
There was a puff of smoke.
Yes.
And I fled.
Yeah. But critically, you remember very clearly that these other 7 youths and 7 maidens are still ensorcelled by the Lord.
Yeah. So I think that's probably the last thing after you get those the actual recap. Then I remember oh God, the others. There's others still there. In this spell is the best way to describe it.
How did you find your way home? Do you think you know where you were? Did we find it again?
Could I find it again, Stephen?
So you feel like you could. You have a hazy recollection of the direction that you ran when you ran there. But the direction that you ran on your way back is much clearer in your mind, because you had shaken off this melancholy and this despair. And you remember basically following the coast until you found where the river Avon empties into the British Sea. And you followed it north until you reached Salisbury.
Yeah. So I think I definitely say yes, absolutely. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I'm totally thinking about rescuing them.
Spoiler alert.
We must.
Yeah. Then with such a noble pursuit, I don't see how we couldn't find them.
When you are ready, sir, certainly. You must be.
We cannot.
So tired.
We cannot run after Nidian's nightmare. 1, it is irresponsible, and 2, cannot go without asking permission of our Lord. And our Lord to be, even Earl Roderick. It would be dishonorable, disloyal, and could be seen even as cowardly.
Wise words. What do you suggest we do?
I think we should have a council. We should explain what's happening. This is our homeland, and we can't just have young people going missing. And certainly he would understand. She, right? Wait.
He, Earl Roderick, is your lord.
Oh, yes.
You may be thinking of Sir Eled, the Castellan.
I was.
Yeah.
Stephen, how much trouble would I be in for being away for 4 months MIA?
People understand that sometimes people just freak out and they can't deal with it. So you'd have to go to your knight and explain what happened, but then your knight would probably be like, yes. Forsooth have I the same, verily, grown wroth of my passion and thrown off my earthly responsibilities. That's probably exactly what he says when you explain it.
It's going to be a night where you could just take impromptu sabbaticals.
Yeah.
Okay.
he just goes on this preaching rampage.
They get your problems though.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, cool. So I'm not afraid of getting cited by HR here.
Right. No.
All right. Good to know.
No, but undertaking like a real quest on your own, like that's different.
Yes, it is.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's go. Probably talk to. Well, we're in Vagon Castle now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Still, and that's actually run by the Castellian.
Well,
right?
it's garrisoned by the Castellan, Sir Elid, but this is also where Earl Roderick is making his court, which is why you all are here right now.
Okay. So it's still Earl Roderick.
Yeah.
So would it be more appropriate to go straight to him or to go to our sort of commanding officer first?
Probably. I think. Well, give me a courtesy roll.
Okay.
And let's see what you think. So I'll just do it. Yeah, let's take. Oh, very nice. Nicely done. Yeah, absolutely. So it seems to you that going through Sir Elid is something that Sir Elid would appreciate. And also, if Sir Elid understands your plight, then she will be able to press your case with Earl Roderick much more effectively. Yeah, okay. That's your impression of the situation.
Cool. Yes, we must go talk to Sir Elid.
Cool. So I think you find her in the training yard. She trains other squires very regularly and trains herself usually when she's not training others. Maybe she's even like having a bout with Sir Lycus, the famed, assassin knight who Sir Nidian, or not Sir, but Nidian and Hrethric both embattled with during the first episode. So yeah, they're trading blows back and forth, and it comes to a convenient pausing point, and both of them turn to the three of you who have approached just recently. Sir Elid calls out and says, young lads, tell me, what news? Can that be young Nidian?
Yes, we found our brother. He's returned to us.
Tell me, child, where have you been? Your knight has been missing you gravely.
Yeah. And I have been missing would I say liege?
Your liege would be the lord who serves over you, so that would be Earl Roderick.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And I've been missing it as well. So and I speak of this triumphant upswelling of I was taken aback by this knight who where after I just had to follow myself. I got in, I guess ensorcelled would be the word.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something just came over me and I had to leave, and well, there was another castle near the remind me again where the shore was.
It's the southern shore.
Okay, so the southern shore, and where I ran as a horse by day and feasted at night, and well, until another night, and is an elderly gentleman rescued me, and they broke the spell, and I immediately had to come back here, and well, it's kind of why we're here to talk to you about.
Aye, lad, that sounds like a grave trouble.
It was the green potion.
Green potion?
Yes.
Absinthe.
Yes, most grave.
Well, that I'm glad you're back, child. Have you been practicing your swordplay?
Have I?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you have, but you can say whatever you want.
Yeah. Not as much as I should.
She tosses you a trainer's sword and she points to the pitch and she says, "Get back to training at this very moment, young lad. You'll never serve the king if you're weak."
Oh.
Did he get to keep all of his belongings when he came back? Like, does he have
his armor and stuff? Yeah, I think probably so. Like, you probably found your armor and sword and everything in the stables. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to begrudgingly go into the pitch hoping that one of my friends will say something to get me out of doing this training. I don't want to do.
Oh, I'll volunteer to spar with him.
Nice. Yeah. Good. Why don't the two of you make some opposed swordsmanship rolls, and we'll see if Nidian can acquit himself well in the eyes of Sir Elid.
All right. So I'm gonna cover for Nidian here, and I'm not gonna use my axe.
Nice.
I'm gonna essentially let Nidian beat me here by using a sword.
Okay. Hopefully.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Where
Do I know you're doing this?
Well,
like, do I know you're coming to bat for me here to like make me look good?
I don't know. Have you ever seen me fight with a sword?
No. So,
And you don't know?
okay, then I don't know. All
well,
right.
you know that you've never seen him fight with a sword, which may indicate his level of practice with it. Yeah. Go ahead and each of you give me a sword roll.
So just roll 1d20, right?
Well, on your character sheet, there should be on the skills page.
Oh, right. There's a... Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I miss.
Right.
Oh.
Nidian?
I rolled.
Oh, where are you? Okay, yeah. Okay, so the two of you start trading blows. And Nidian, you look fairly strong, especially compared with like this big, like 6'2". Like, how tall are you, Hrethric?
Yeah, I'm like, half a head taller than anybody else.
Yeah. So
I'm size 15 or something.
You've got this giant of a man facing you down, but he's handling the sword like it's some sort of a wet noodle. And you deal with him handily. And Sir Elid is standing on the side, the man gauche, talking in various sword terminology.
1,000 years off, Sir Elid.
Well, whatever.
I just cock and I will. But I'm just kind of like I don't know, half-heartedly swinging at Nidian's sword. Like, if I make contact, I swat it aside, but otherwise, I let him, ring my bell or whatever. Like, I don't care.
Nice.
Like, there's no loss of honor for me, and I'm trying to guide Nidian back to the right path, which is to knighthood.
Yes. Yeah. So I think Sir Elid probably sees this in you a little bit.
I think I mentioned like in a way to kind of get past this is like it does feel good to wield a sword once more.
She nods and she says, very well, very well. It's been probably half an hour. Both of you are red-faced and sweating and whatever. She says, very good. Well, I'm glad you're back, Nidian. And Hrethric, you really need to work on your sword. See me this evening. We will send you through some drills.
Absolutely.
Now, the three of you are dismissed.
Yeah, if I have a moment with Hrethric real quick, like if there's a chance, if I can get close to your ear, I whisper thank you.
I'll just crush your tiny head between my bicep and my forearm. Give you a little sly wink.
All right, go in.
Yeah. So did any of you want to mention what you were hoping to ask for from...
Is this the right time?
I'm not asking.
I mean,
I think this is a fool's errand. Hrethric thinks this is a fool's errand, but so it's on you.
Yeah, part of me wonders, like, I want to do this, but I'm not sure if this is the right time to do it.
When would you like to have that conversation with Sir Elid? Let's move to that part.
So I guess it depends on this thing that I was in, right? So I was a prisoner, right?
You were not there under your free will. You were ensorcelled.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think of a way to make that sound something about breaking bonds and how important it is.
So just as an aside, like player to player, your honor, dude, your honor has been trampled upon by 14 horses.
Yeah.
Right? This is like to take a knight or you know a prospective knight captive and to degrade them in such a way, like, which is, I mean, that's a case you could.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a huge insult to your honor.
That's a really good point. So I think I would probably mention, I have something to request of you. So
yes.
kind of a matter of honor.
More training. Very well, son. Back on the pitch. Let's go. Me this time. And she pulls up her own training sword.
Oh boy.
This is not what I had in mind, but I will absolutely go meet sword to sword with you.
Yeah, okay. So the two of you are sparring, and as you are sparring, you're trying to get these words out, breathing hard. Yeah. What do you say to her?
Oh, yeah, I mentioned that to be ensorcelled in such a way and it's a grave offense to our honor and a squire. I don't think, you know, it reflects poorly on myself and even, and by extent, Sir Roderick. Earl Roderick.
Earl Roderick, yeah.
Yeah. She agrees wholeheartedly. Roll your sword skill.
I want to hear that more often in this game.
Yeah, she clacks you across your helmet. Bong! Yes, lad, it reflects quite poorly on you, and poorly on Earl Roderick, and by extension, poorly on Clong, King Uther himself, Clong!
Yeah, I'm like, you know, I'm doing that thing where I'm like having to like just defend. I can't even like.
Yeah, exactly. She is skilled. She is really good with her blade.
Yeah, exactly.
Her training blade.
I just have to play like the control game here and not get hit. I can't find an opening. So yeah, I would like to request if there is, you know, when we were finished our duties, to find this place and recover some of that honor.
Yeah, she, you know, the two of you finish your sparring, and she sticks her training sword in the earth, and she sits down on a stool or something nearby.
We don't get to go again?
Nope, nope. She sits down on a stool nearby, and she says, Nidian, in some ways you are your father's son most acutely, and in other ways you fall far from the tree. I remember your father, a great man, and if he had been dishonored in this way, he would not even have come to ask me. He would already be back at that castle, asserting his honor. But, lad, you have done well by yourself, well by your knight, and well by Earl Roderick by coming to me and asking me for my good faith. I will bring your plea before the Earl this evening while we feast, and I think it only right and meet that you should go back and reclaim your honor. Perhaps this will finally be what it takes to have the Earl recognize your skills. I think perhaps times are coming that we will need every man on the battlefield, including those such as yourselves. And she sort of gestures widely, including, you know, yourself and Ivan. And then she sort of stops just short of gesturing to include Hrethric and sort of looks at him, you know, considers for a moment, and says, yes, follows through with her gesture.
Racism. Delicious racism.
Now, it's implied here that Hrethric and Edvin are coming with me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so I just want to thank her profusely for being so generous to take my claim to...
Yeah. So, yeah, I think probably, unless there's anything that you all want to do before the evening comes around, we can just fast forward to that scene in the hall where you three and Sir Elid are bringing the case before Earl Roderick.
Yeah, it's not super important, but I would like to see if how Edvin's doing, you know, with, you know, after their melancholia, you know.
Mm-hmm.
How, you know, unless it was already apparent that, you know, they are no longer, you know, upset or anything like that. You know, they've been in good spirits.
Well, it's been 4 months.
I know. Well, you know, these things last a while. Like, are you know?
It's true.
So I you know, just when I have a moment, like, how are you doing, kind of thing.
Yeah, sure. Well, you know, it
How do the days treat you?
Thank you. Thank you for asking, especially after the ordeal that you've been through. You are a good friend to me, and I was quite worried about you. Quite worried. I wanted to go find you, but I felt I couldn't leave.
I might stop you there and be like, it's okay. And I might say something like, of all the faces that I missed, it was your face I missed the most.
Mm.
That's nice.
You're a true friend.
Bros. I don't know how a man knight would respond to that. It just says, "Aw."
You just say, "Bro."
That's nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
It's probably like a manly clasping of the forearms or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I think we got one of those awesome crossfades where it's like the clasping of the forearms, and then like it fades into like the music in the hall, and like some fire juggler dancing in the corner, and like, you know, beer being spilled, and it's two men like wrestling each other, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, so you're all in the Lord's Hall this evening. So the way that the court generally works is that during the day, all of the benches and tables are pushed to the side of the hall. And that's where court is held, and people come in and they make their claims, and Earl Roderick oversees justice for his realm. Or, you know, if he has a Justicar, which he no longer does, that person would be responsible for it. But at night, all the tables are brought out and set up, and there's feasting. And then once the feasts and everything are over, many of the tables are moved aside, but basically all of the knights in Earl Roderick's employ just sleep in this main hall. They grab a spot of ground, or they, you know, curl up with their dogs, or, you know, pull a blanket or grab a bench or something like that, and they just pass out on the ground, basically. So this is the court and the feast hall and the sleeping chambers. And you all as squires are probably like sleeping in even less thrilling accommodations, you know, out in the stables or something like that. Yes. So, I think there's a moment where Earl Roderick is hearing, you know, complaints or issues between all of his knights, and Sir Elid stands up and she says, "My lord, if I may, there is one of your young squires who has a request to make of you. You may remember Nidian." What was your father's name, Nidian? Do we remember? I think we made it up like 3 times by now. Let's see if you'd written it down anywhere.
Sir Dadian.
Sir Dadian. Yes!
Oh my god, can it be?
That's what it is. That's what it is from now on.
Sir Dadian.
Sir Dadian.
I'm sorry.
You know, if we can't remember the name, we're just going to eventually cycle through until we get a memorable one, and I feel like Sir Dadian is going to be it. So, she gestures to Nidian and says, "You remember Nidian, Dadianson."
I was muted. I think it was Pellin, but yeah, Dadian.
Pellin Dadian. Or Dadian Pellin.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's Dadian Pellinson. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She gestures to you. She says, "You remember Nidian Dadianson and how furious his father was at pursuing his honor. Nidian has a request to make of you in maintenance of his family name." And then she steps aside and she gestures to you and says, "Go on, lad, speak up, speak up."
Oh boy, I was not expecting this. All right.
Oh gosh.
I'm kind of like shocked that I have to do this. So I speak with them. I try to use all of my etiquette and training here. So I'm not speaking from the heart. I sound much more that I'm speaking from like the procedural things. So I'm like, Earl, I humbly beseech your presence here, and thank you so much for taking this and listening to me and doing all of these things. Like, I'm trying to like beat around this bush and being like super soft and polite here. Mm-hmm. And eventually I get to Well, if it's not too much of a burden, I would like to I request that me and my friends here we
Speak up, Nidian! I can't hear you from across the hall!
There's a roar of laughter across the hall. A number of men jeer out at you and say, aye, nor can I. You've seen this sort of thing happen before, Nidian.
Yeah, and like in like a very like shaky voice, I proclaim loudly, I request time to find the location of this castle where I was kept and reclaim my honor. And I like brace for the no.
Yeah. Or Roderick leans forwards. He's got a big black beard and long black hair. And he's a big burly guy. He's in like the prime of his middle ages, basically. He's probably like 45, something like that. He's got a daughter of approaching marriageable age, I think, something like that. And he leans forwards and he says, Nidian, aye, I remember your father, a great man and a great servant to the king. Your honor truly indeed has this day been besmirched. Nidian, would you roll something, either orate or courtesy?
I was hoping for courtesy.
Yeah. Well, why don't you give a courtesy roll, and maybe that will give you a bonus to your orate skill for this particular circumstance.
So right, it would roll into a +5 if he passes.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Crit.
Oh wait, what?
Nice.
I crit that courtesy.
Oh, check it out. Nice. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give you a +10 on your orate for that. Yeah.
All right.
Nice. Yeah, totally, easily. Yeah, so he nods and he says, aye, your request is well made, and your courtly manner quite appealing. It's clear that you know your place in the grand realm of things. But lad, you're not yet knighted, are you?
No, I am not.
We are humble squires, lord.
Yeah, I think your knight pipes in from the back of the room. Verily, no, he's not. He's but a squire. And he nods and says, well, even squires have honor, and a threat against one of my squires is a threat against my knight, and a threat against my knights is a threat against myself. But I find it odd that this lord chose to ensorcel a mere squire. If that be so, then perhaps it is squires who must resolve this situation. Very well, you have my leave. Be back within 2 months' time. We may have need of your arm.
2 months' time.
It shall be done.
Yeah. Everybody raises their glasses, and there's a resounding cheer around the room. And
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Huzzah! As I like look around, like I did it, in a very shaken way.
Sir Elid is sitting there with her head in her hands.
During the huzzah, I neigh like a horse.
Awesome.
Such shade.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So, when are you all setting off?
Well, we got 2 months, so soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Sunrise.
You don't want to miss the battle that's coming up if you go bonkers insane on this mission.
That's true. That would be unfortunate for sure. Yeah. All right. So, like, the next day, let's say, or however many days it is next when you decide to set off, you've been provisioned, you've got packs full of travel rations and water skins and things like that. You've put on all of your armor and weaponry and you might even be carrying 2 horses with you. One of your roundseys to ride on, and one of your, I guess, sumpters as your pack horse to carry all of your goods with you.
Yeah, doing it right.
So in order to navigate through the forests down to the coast, it's not hard to navigate. You're just following the river Avon, of course. Though there are risks associated for traveling through wild terrain like this. So there's going to be 10 hunting rolls to see how you fare traveling through this.
Holy shit!
Wows.
And it's just about like how badly things go. But
they're gonna go about 50% bad according to my hunting, but
15% or 50.
50%
bad, good, yeah.
We each roll 10 hunting rolls?
No, 10 for the group.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a 12 in hunting.
Okay.
All right, all you. So.
Yeah, lead us.
Very nice. All right. Yeah, go ahead and roll. Let's roll the first one and see how it goes.
Okay.
Very nice. Yeah, so you're just traveling for a number of days, basically, and things are going smoothly. You set out. The journey is smooth. The weather is a little bit wet, but other than that, nothing too terrible. Keep going.
I just do up. Oh yeah,
Yep.
cool.
Very nice. Things
Badass.
continue smooth.
This is a good montage. Keep it going.
Yes, it is a good montage.
40% of these are gonna go wrong here. But okay, cool.
Yeah, you're beating the odds. Well, maybe.
Wait, she got a
Jess
crit.
doesn't have your luck, Luke.
Oh no,
Oh,
she rolled an 8.
No. She rolled an 8. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Sorry, I misread it. Sorry.
So how far are we along at this point? Like
30%. Yeah. So hang on, I can actually draw you all over here.
I'm just wondering if I'm a very visual person. Are there any
Yeah.
changes in the terrain that we've reached so far? Or are we still pretty close to home?
So you're following from near Sarum, which is here, and you're following the Avon River down south, and it's basically forested, Camelot Forest, all through from here until the coast. So the terrain isn't undergoing dramatic changes, but you're passing by swamps and occasional moors, and there are small towns dotting the forest who are sort of just like little foresting villages, like woodcutter outposts and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I missed this, but are these each like a day or? Like
I don't actually know how long it would take you to navigate literally from Sarum to the coast, so it's some uncertain length of time. Let's see if there's
it's not that far. It's like a 90-minute train ride.
Yeah, so it's like 30 or 40 miles. So probably this is more like 2 or 3 days of travel through the woods on horseback. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I don't need to stop and pray. We're good.
Look at that, crushing it out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Very nice.
What the hell?
Yep, you're just rolling those 8s, 9s, and 7s. That's 6. Yep, totally great. Oh, and you crit it. Okay, I'm gonna count that as 2, so that's 7 and 8.
Don't forget, because now that you critted though, also mark.
Yeah, check down on hunting.
You got a check for hunting.
Yeah, boy. Okay. 9.
Oh, all right.
What?
You missed that one. So, yeah, let's see. Roll 1d6 for me, Ivan.
Okay. 4.
4. Yeah. Okay. So, you're wandering through the forest, and it's been, most of your second day of travel, and the sun is starting to set. And you notice that, give me a perception check.
Okay.
Just roll your perception skill.
Where's that? Stats?
Yes, or skills. It should be.
Yeah, if we're
What is it?
if this was the King Pendragon musical, there's definitely like a hero's journey-esque song going on.
Yeah, awareness.
And this is when it gets dark and
Awareness. Okay.
Yes, awareness.
Is it just Jess? I love awareness.
Yes, it's just Jess.
I love awareness.
Oh no!
I'm not aware.
Okay, so
You used up all your luck on that crit.
I
hunting
did.
roll.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so you make camp this evening, and you cook yourself whatever gruel that you brought with you, and sleep. And when you wake in the morning, you notice that the moss is growing on the completely wrong side of the trees, which of course means that you've been going in the completely wrong direction.
Oh my god.
In order to, you look around you and you get your bearings. You've been walking along the edge of a large swamp, sort of skirting around it in order to try to not go through those swampy waters. And instead, it turns out that in order to get back to where you need to go, you're either going to need to spend another entire day and another like three hunting rolls getting around the swamp, or going through it, which will be much quicker. But you never know what sort of strange beasts lurk under the swampy waters.
Right.
So I think all of you know that at this moment in time.
I am not afraid of strange beasts. I am excited to meet some strange beasts.
Just look at for a second.
You know what? The most important thing about here is framing. And you know what? This is a challenge, and let's tackle this challenge together, team.
I think, oh god, I can't find the screenshot I took, but I'm pretty sure I'm like really honest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because my first instinct was to be like, yeah, I don't let them know that we're going the wrong way. I just say, oh, it's right over the swamp. It's very close.
Very
We're
nice.
going now.
Yeah.
The end is for now.
But I think, I'm pretty sure, I can't say my traits, but I'm pretty sure Ivan is like very honest.
Nice.
So he's gonna like profusely apologize and say like, I don't know what happened. We took a wrong turn. I thought I knew where to go, but I'm so sorry, my friends, but unfortunately we must cross the swamp in order to continue.
Sweet. Hrethric dismounts. Can I clap Ivan on the shoulder and say, you've done remarkably well. My ancestors would be proud. But I'd like to scout a way through the swamp for us.
Nice. Are you using hunting or what?
Well, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, I imagine basically I'll just take point, 5 paces ahead, leading my horse, and just kind of, walking through the muck and just, one hand on the reins, one hand on the axe, and just kind of scanning.
So you're looking out for any dangers. You're looking for solid ground to walk on as you go through the swamp. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. More for the chance to whack a monster on the head, but also solid ground.
Yeah. So you're kind of like looking for the more dangerous parts of the swamp and like, oh, we must go that way. It's the only solid ground.
Let's see if I pass the roll or not.
Yeah. Okay. So give me an awareness check.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if I can critically fail this. One success.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you basically have your choice of where you're going. You see a couple spots where like there's like weird goop hanging from the trees, and you think you see like a half-eaten backpack sitting under one of them or something like that. So you could lead the group over in that direction. There's also some solid ground that steers around it and away from it. You could lead them that way.
You see a sinking X-wing.
Yeah, right.
I believe I can't find Hrethric traits at all. They don't appear in the VOD for me.
Here, hang on. Let me run real quick. I've got all of your like most extreme traits noted down in my notebook, but it's right over there.
Hrethric is the most valorous.
Yes, you are.
I believe he is
right
as valorous as they come. So I guess I'm not gonna. Like if I need to brush aside a hanging web of goop in order to get to the high ground, that's where Hrethrick's gonna go. I'm not gonna avoid danger, but neither am I gonna be foolish.
Mm-hmm.
Valor and foolishness are not the same thing.
Right.
No, they're not.
So
let's see.
I'm not gonna shirk any danger, but neither will I leave my companions to their doom.
You are energetic, generous, modest, and valorous. Yeah. Cool.
Got that modest thing in already though with you, Nidian. let you beat me up in front of the Lord.
That's very true. Very nice. All right, so you're going to lead them sort of away from the dangerous part.
Yeah. Not necessarily avoiding it, but I'm going to try to lead them true.
Okay.
Right, we do have a mission.
Very nice. All right, so, yeah, I think you lead them sort of around, following a winding path that takes you through the swamp, avoiding some of these trees with this strange goop sitting over it. You see from a distance, all three of you, as you're looking out across the swamp, near these trees, there are strange, elongated, lozenge-shaped fish that sit in the water and occasionally flap large fins that are almost shaped like wings to leap out of the water and snap at a flying bird that passes every once in a while. Very strange, ugly, toothed creatures sitting in the water here, and that's what you managed to avoid. So,
they don't look like that's something you earn glory for fighting.
Let me double check, but I think they do.
Well, I'm saying to Herethric, I'm saying like they don't look like.
Oh yeah, not a worthy adversary.
Right. No.
Yes.
They look like something you come back having attached to your arm and have to go to the doctor for.
Yes. Yeah, cool. Okay. You make your way out of the swamp fairly easily. And you set your course right. You start heading true Nouth instead of false Nouth. And all is well.
I give Ivan a little clap on the shoulder and a nod, like a comradely nod. Like we did it together.
Yeah, yes, together, yes. Teamwork.
Nice. All right. Ivan, give me 2 more hunting checks. Let's see how the end of your trip down to the south goes.
Sorry, Windows.
Yay!
Yep, just fine. One more.
I can feel we're getting close.
Look at that. All right. Wow. Very, very
Incredible.
Smooth travel, despite a little bit of trouble. So yes, on the midday of the 3rd day, you break out of the forest, and you see stretching out ahead of you plains that stretch forwards until they hit cliffs that descend into the sea at the south end of Britain. And you're in a realm that you're not familiar with, and it's more than just you don't know it, like you've never been there, but it's more like it doesn't entirely look like Britain proper, right? Mm-hmm. So you look out across the plain, and in the distance off on the left, you see a large stone castle. And in the center, in the plains in front of you, you see a herd of wild horses running, half of them black and half of them white. And off to the right, you see very far away in the distance on a hilltop, just silhouetted against the sky, you see a knight sitting on horseback. He seems to be looking in your direction. And as you look, he turns away, riding slowly off to the west, away from the castle. So, what would you all like to do?
I look to Nidian.
I think I kind of like pull them aside and I say, now friends, I'm prepared to fight, of course, but these are pagan gods that we do not want to anger. Could have serious consequences. So we should be careful in how we deal with this.
I mentioned that the first thing we should do, I like maybe like touch both your shoulders, right? So like maybe like one's like that and one's, but I mentioned like if it comes to conflict, words would be the first weapon drawn.
Rethric like stuffs his beard in his mouth like
Nice.
Okay.
So I'm confirming with you that doing the trying the diplomatic approach first might be the best way of doing this instead of going in there. Take down the doors.
Yeah. Would
I sense reservation from you.
After you, Nidian. I suggest you not satisfy any of your hungers on this journey, or thirsts, as the case may be.
Rude.
Yeah, which is okay.
Would I be able to roll something to know, like fairy lore, I guess, why these specific people may have been taken?
Yeah, I'll give it to you, but it's a distant land that you're not familiar with.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna give you a -5 to your skill.
Ha! Ha! Easy peasy. Wait a minute. Here. -5. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, you've never heard any tale of this realm or of horses or people being transformed into beasts and then kept for, you know, some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're aware that like someone local might know more. That's what you know.
Okay.
So what should we do?
I mean, are there like villages nearby?
What you see right now, looking from your current vantage point, is just a large, vast plain that curves, and there's like rolling hills. So if you moved, you know, along the coast, you might see more. But there's a large castle, there's a herd of horses, and there's this knight that went riding off in the direction away from the castle.
All right.
Can I do something?
Sure.
Can I try to see who that knight is? Trying to see to gain some kind of insight or awareness if that is the knight who rescued me, the one with the flowers.
Honestly, it was too far away. You couldn't see any symbols on them. They're just a black silhouette on the hilltop.
All right.
I mount up and ride down.
Something is telling me that we should follow him. And yeah. And
Are you referring to Herethric or?
All right. I'm like, Herethric has the right idea.
Nice.
Okay.
So the two of you catch up with Herethric. Where are you riding to, Herethric?
I am going to take a circuitous route, but I am going to ride down, kind of looking, so I can assess the herd, right? But really, I just want to get eyes on the herd, appraise it. Rethric's got a plan.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ride straight for the front door.
Okay. Yeah, you can
in an unhurried manner.
Yeah, you can get close to the herd. They're a little bit skittish around you. They all sort of stomp, clop, 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 and blow their noses. And you wanted to like appraise it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to buy one.
Okay. Yeah. No, they look like fine horses. Well kept in the prime of their youth. They'd probably make really excellent riding horses.
That's right. There's a battle coming up. I need a courser.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see. Like what kind of horse would that be technically? Yeah, courser. Yeah, that's the course. All right. Yeah. They look quite fine. And then you're gonna ride straight for the door.
Yeah, I turn to my companions and I kind of give them a head nod and head straight for the door. No dissembly. No hurry, no fret.
Yeah, okay. So you ride up to the gate of the castle, and it's a large wooden gate in a large stone wall. And now, of course, like the castles that you've seen don't look anything like this, honestly. Like most of them are just these moat and bailey wooden palisades with maybe a stone keep in them, but this is like huge, massive stone walls and a massive stone tower in the center. A really impressive piece of architecture. Are you just like banging on the gate, or are you shouting out, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I will look up at the turrets and crenellations as I head into the shadow. But if no one hails me, then I will rap the butt of my axe on the gate.
Yeah. The gate slowly opens in response to your rapping of the butt.
Yeah, real quick, Steven, I was going to ask you, this all looks familiar, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. We're not
you are not at a different place. This is the place.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, this does look, it's like, this is the right place.
Would we have like a Roderick banner or something? Would they like?
No.
know who we are by looking at us.
We have no livery, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You don't
What do I
even have
remember?
your own arms.
What do I remember of the Lord who would give me the drink? Anything?
He was a wealthy, older gentleman. He was quite fatherly to the people that were working with him. He seemed very caring in laying out these feasts for everybody, but also he seemed to have a very firm command of what was going on.
I might actually caution everybody here to be it might be best to deny any food or drink here until we get to what's going on.
Yeah. Okay.
I will ride in and dismount in the courtyard.
Nice. Yeah. An older gentleman dressed in very fine robes comes walking down the steps of the keep across the courtyard. An older woman, sort of a grandmotherly crone, takes the reins of your horses and leads them into the stable, talking to them very quietly under her breath. Now, there, don't you worry. We'll feed you some delicious meals. We've got suckling pig and fine wines, and then she's just leading them away into the stable.
Suckling pigs for horses. Never heard of it.
Did she mention anything? Did she like notice me at all in any way?
She was a little more preoccupied with the horses.
Okay.
Yeah, the man comes down the stairs and he stops and he says,
"Grandfather, we come seeking hospitality. We are weary travelers."
And his eyes sort of narrow when he looks at Nidian, and he says, "Hospitality, aye. So you've come back, lad. Well, come in." And he opens his arms wide and he turns back towards the keep. It says, turns back to, shouts over his shoulder, "Hospitality you shall have. Welcome to my castle."
Good.
And I think I want to follow that up with actually I'm kind of struggling with the words here. I don't want to say "and retribution," but I want to say something like
if you're gonna blurt something out, I'm gonna muzzle you.
Okay.
I give you a look.
I probably start then, and then you do. Yeah.
So I guess I'll pull you into my beard and say, "Is that him?"
Yes.
It is. Yes. That's him. Yes.
He is now bound by the ancient laws of hospitality, Gideon. You see? Good fortune is on our side.
Can we trust a sorcerer to follow the laws of hospitality?
Perhaps not. But to break the laws of hospitality is a grave crime.
Aye.
One that is punished by deeper retribution than even you or I can bring.
Very well.
Yeah, at this point, I'm like full Saxon. I look up at the wall and there's a raven sitting on the wall, and I just like give it an eye.
Yeah, like, it looks at you and goes, "Mah!"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like Wotan walks.
Yeah, cool, nice. Yeah, I think we'll close the first half of our session with a shot of you three walking into the hall, and the camera sort of drifts over to the stable where the old woman is, rubbing down the horses and whispering to them softly of the dances that they'll partake in, and then fade to black. So we'll come back in 5 minutes with the second half of our side adventure, the adventure of the Lord's horses. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.